All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new DC update. And it appears, as of today, Warner Brothers is in deep trouble. And it looks like Zaslav is running this company into the ground. And I have a number of things to show you today. And we also learned that James Gunn has yet lied again and has proven a lot of the disbelievers out there to make fools of themselves. And I want to point out that I have yet to be wrong with any of the predictions I have made on my channel. And we're going to talk a bit about that as we go through some of the photos that I have grabbed. And what's interesting about this is more information was released on the slate, and so we have plenty of things to look over. So let's get started. So first up, we have some stuff about the slate. There is a new show, kind of like My Adventures with Superman. We have My Adventures with Green Lantern, but it's not who you think it is. It says, My Adventures with Green Lantern will follow high school student Jessica Cruz, who has her life upended when, according to an official logline, a Green Lantern power ring falls from the sky and chooses Cruz to be its champion. Things get even worse when more debris from the Lantern's ancient space war arrives, along with their alien foes. Jake Wyatt is executive producing, and Stephanie Gonzaga is a co-executive producer. I don't know how popular this show will be. Again, it just seems like another show. Why was this even greenlit to begin with? But, Warner Brothers is making some very questionable decisions at this point. Also, there is a DC Studios Superpower show coming out. I think this is going to be geared towards kids. And it says DC Studios has greenlit animated series DC Superpowers, which takes place at the Alliance School for Heroes and focuses on new students, Lightning, Flash, Plastic Man, Aquagirl, Green Lantern, and Terra, who level up their powers under the supervision of Principal Martian Manhunter, in the hopes of one day graduating and becoming the next generation of Earth's defenders. So we know these are going to be kids. Again, I wonder why they're doing these shows. To me, it doesn't make any sense. A little bit more about Starfire. DC Studios has greenlit animated series Starfire, which serves as the origin story for the fan favorite title character, perhaps best known as part of the Teen Titans. The show follows her adventures after she uses an ancient spaceship she discovers on her home planet of Tamarin to escape her planet and explore the stars. Now, there was some more information. Originally, this was supposed to be part of the DCU, but they came out and officially said this is not part of the DCU. This is a standalone cartoon series. And again, I don't know why they're doing this. It doesn't seem to make sense. But we got 3 just very weird projects coming from Warner Brothers. Now, this is ridiculous. DC Studios has no major plans to attend this year's San Diego Comic-Con. They instead plan on going to the CinemaCon in April. So here's what's crazy about this. Okay, they haven't gone to the Comic-Con, and they claimed because they were too busy working on Superman. Now, by the time the Comic-Con gets released or, goes out this year, the date of it, Superman will have already come out. So after that, we have Supergirl, which is in production, and a bunch of shows that they should be hyping up for their audience. But instead, they're skipping it. They are not promoting their DCU at all. Okay? It's crazy that the CinemaCon is the only place you're going to get anything. That's it. And again, that's, I think, like April 4th or something like that. Outside of that, DC is just not promoting their brand. They're not interested in giving the fans anything. It's pretty pathetic that this major company and this major brand is being kept behind locked doors. It really is. It's sad. Now, this is pretty crazy. Warner Brothers is reportedly planning a Superman marketing campaign and press tour similar to the Barbie rollout. So what did they decide to do? They fired the person who did the Barbie campaign. Make it make sense, people. Make it make sense. If you want it to be successful like Barbie was, maybe you ought to keep the people behind that campaign on board. but instead Warner Brothers fired them. Make it make sense. Now, this is interesting. James Gunn says he's not ready to confirm whether or not Dynamic Duo is set in the DCU. Gunn says he'd like Dynamic Duo to be set in the DCU, but with the nature of its tale, it might not be possible, but that could change. This seems like what he's saying about anything to do with Batman. Even his comments on the Batman and people saying he definitively said he's not in the DCU, he did not say that. He just simply said that's not the plan. Plans change with DC, and plans change apparently with Gunn depending on the day. It's getting to the point where it's being ridiculous, and he really should get off social media and stop talking because he's doing things that directly contradict statements that he's made. And we're going to see that with some of these photos. Now, this has me nervous, and I'm going to tell you what I think it is. James Gunn revealed his favorite DCU project hasn't been announced yet. The fact that there's another, my favorite project, nobody even knows about yet, it's been my favorite project for a few months. Nobody even knows it. We already know that he's writing the next project that he's going to be working on. And he made a comment the other day that Batman may make an appearance prior to The Brave and the Bold coming out. We know that Superman is just about to be released. If you put two and two together, that leads me to believe that he is writing a world's finest movie, and he is the last guy I want in charge of a world's finest movie. We haven't even seen Superman yet to see if he can even pull it off. But there is nothing that he has shown with the marketing for Superman or any projects he's ever done that shows that he's up to the task of doing Superman justice. If they turn it into another comedy like Guardians of the Galaxy or turn it into a comedy like the last batch of DCEU films, it is going to fail. It is a fact. The only thing he said in the past is that Superman is a serious film, but he hasn't shown that with any of the marketing whatsoever. And then you had the trailer, which was ridiculously serious, and all it did was show Superman, he was beat up or disheveled the entire time. So this has got to be the most weird, just uneven marketing I have ever seen for a film. And there's a lot of people who still don't even know a Superman film is coming out. Also, Daniel Radcliffe is being eyed to play Clayface in James Watkins' Clayface. That's an interesting choice. I had heard that they were also looking at James McAvoy possibly playing the character. I would prefer James McAvoy myself, but it looks like they might be looking at Daniel Radcliffe to come in. Also, a note, I don't think I grabbed a thing for it, but the individual, Mr. White, the actor who was supposedly going to be attached to Sergeant Rock, he has officially passed on the role. Now, I still don't believe these movies are ever going to be made. I won't believe it until they start filming. But Peter Safran confirms the Batman will be a trilogy. This was his quote. "The only thing that's Elseworlds is Matt Reeves' world," Safran continued. "His crime saga that he's telling, the Batman trilogy, the Penguin series, that's what's in that lane. So still under DC Studios, still under us. We have an incredible relationship with Matt, but those are the only things." So that's the only thing they have set up for Elseworlds. Now, we do know that they have talked about doing Constantine 2, which also would be Elseworlds. But they don't really have any plans on using Elseworlds. It looks like and keep in mind, this Batman stuff was long in production, long before, Safran and Gunn became the head of DC Studios. And so this really isn't their thing, and they don't want anything other than their thing. So if this trilogy does end up getting made, I think it'll die there and there won't be anything else. It's pretty crazy what's going on down there. Now, this made me laugh today when I read this. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. David Zaslav reportedly condemned the Warner Brothers film heads, Michael DeLuca and Pamela Abdy, in a meeting after Joker 2 flopped. He also criticized them for the mounting costs of the studio's upcoming releases. Talk about being tone deaf. They were here long before Zaslav took over. They were a part of some of the most popular DC movies. Zaslav was not. They wanted to go in a different direction, but Zaslav made a unilateral decision to bring in Gunn. And Gunn is the one who announced a reboot before 4 movies still had to be released, which doomed those movies at the box office. And so you can blame Gunn for that. You can blame Zaslav for changing course when they got everybody excited. Remember when Cavill announced that he was back and all the social media platforms for DC Comics, Warner Brothers, all picked up on it and shared it, and they announced that he was back as Superman? That was under Zaslav. That wasn't under anybody else. That was under Zaslav. Only for him to come in and bring in Gunn later and just completely change course. So Zaslav has nobody to blame other than himself. It's his inability to run a movie studio. He needs to sell it off, and he needs to go and continue to do the stuff he used to do with, these stupid reality shows. He does not know how to run a movie studio at all. And what's crazy about this, I know I grabbed the photo. I don't know why it's not in here, but they also canceled the Wonder Woman video game that was in production that supposedly had already had $200 million pumped into it, and they closed 3 different gaming studios. This was all done 2 days ago. Like, Warner Brothers is in a big tailspin right now, and they're tanking. And there's nothing to get excited about. There really isn't. You might be excited for Superman, but outside of that, what other projects? Maybe the Green Lantern TV show? Outside of that, everything else sounds like garbage. It's like they're shoveling garbage. How is that supposed to get people excited? It's not. And so I think he was the worst person to take over. In fact, somebody had posted on social media the other day on how he had touted it's actual live video. You could have seen it when he was like on CNN. And he talked about how Warner Brothers has this great IP for DC, and they're not even utilizing Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, the Trinity. The Trinity is nowhere in sight. All we have is Superman. There's nothing really being planned for Batman. Everything's on the back burner, and they're not even mentioning Wonder Woman. Like, what the heck? It's all smoke and mirrors. Stuff he promised but never delivered on. Oh, I guess I did grab it. Yes, Jeremy Allen White reportedly turned down the role of Sergeant Rock in Luca Guadagnino, I don't even know how you say his name, who's going to be doing Sergeant Rock. And, they're having a hard time getting talent to come in and take on this role. I think everybody sees that the ship is sinking, and they don't want to have anything to do with this. All right, now, here's the thing that really prompted me to do this video. So this is James Gunn talking about Superman test screenings and reshoots. And this completely contradicts statements he's made in the past. Now, right off the bat, we've done screenings. We've done real screenings. Now, wait. Let's stop right there. Do you know how many people came into my comments and said there were no screenings? No screenings have taken place, even though I told people that Gunn had commented on these screenings. Somebody flat out asked him, how did the screenings go? And he just said, good. That was all he said. He did not elaborate. And that's when you heard reports of the test screenings not going so well. With that in mind, this is what Gunn said. We've done screenings. We've done real screenings. Definitely learning stuff all the time. Definitely editing and making little changes. We might shoot a couple of little tiny things. I used to be kind of against it, and he was. He specifically said he doesn't do any type of reshoots. He doesn't have to because everything is planned out so well. And keep in mind that he said he is the CEO of DC Studios, and the buck stops with him, that he's the one that makes the final decisions. He goes on to say, but you don't want to have to shoot again. It's a pain in the ass. But as time has gone on, and I've made more movies, wow. Not since he made that comment, he hasn't made more movies. Since he made that last comment, this is the only movie he's made. He goes on to say, I really like being able to say, you know what? I wish I had shot that fist hitting that. And so I do tend to go back and pick that kind of stuff up. So it wouldn't be anything major, but those kinds of things. Yeah, I'll cover you a couple more things like that. So again, this is the guy who said he doesn't have to do reshoots because everything is so well planned ahead of time that he doesn't have to, that he's never had to do that. Now all of a sudden with Superman he has to. So who's really in charge? Okay, he said he was the one. He was happy with everything. Why would he have to go back and do it? Supposedly he's taking notes from these screenings and learning from those screenings. And so he's having to go in and make changes. So is he really in charge or is he not? He lied about doing reshoots, and people were totally wrong about the screenings. And I do want to point out again, I have yet to be wrong with my predictions with the stuff that I've talked about. I don't see this ending up well. I really don't. This seems like a complete disaster on all levels, from the video game division to the movie division to the TV division. It just seems like things are crashing and burning right now. And their stock is not gaining any steam at all. This cannot make investors happy. All right, guys, so there you have it. There's a lot of stuff going on with DC right now. A lot of things going on with Warner Brothers. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't appear good. Now, they're going to blow smoke, and Gunn keeps contradicting himself left and right, and it's going to continue to happen. I just don't believe anything that guy says. I don't think you can trust what Warner Brothers tells you. Ever since The Flash, I'm 100% completely skeptical about what the studio says and how they promote their stuff and what they tell the public. And James Gunn could really do himself a favor by just completely getting off of social media. He really would. Don't make those stupid statements that you have to come back and contradict later, because it makes you look stupid. It really does. All right, guys, there you have it. There's the DC update for the day. I do appreciate the support. If you haven't already, please like the video, hit that subscription button. That way you'll be notified as I have new videos go out. I do appreciate the support. We'll see you on the next video.